jumping puzzler. Zaitan has attacked Militus and his family, and the Precursor Guild spent all Tuesday night in a Winter's Day wonderland. It is time to wind it up. It's episode 6 of the PrecursorCast. Well, good evening, everybody. It is a special late edition of the PrecursorCast brought to you by Windows. That's right, Microsoft Windows. It will update when you don't want it to. That's my little ad for them.
Oh, puddin'.
Thank you very much, Microsoft, for the hour delayed starts. I hope these new features that, you, by the way, you made me watch are really, really good. I have a couple bones to pick with Microsoft this week. And I'm just at that point. Well, I am Boom, and as always, I am joined by Tess and Militus. How are you guys doing this wonderful Winter's Day evening?
Winter's Day! I've got some Winter's Day treats. I've got some candy cane biscotti and some other Winter's Day noms.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, I'm all set.
That is good stuff. I'm excited for you.
And I like Militus's hat.
It's
He's rocking
also,
the Winter's Day hat.
It's also quite good.
You like it, Boom?
I almost, when I saw you had the hat on, I was like, oh, I better go get my hat.
We only have like one more show before Christmas.
I know.
Right?
It's true. It's true. We only have one more show, I think, before Christmas. But we do have Winter's Day, which is super, super awesome. So Winter's Day is here. And I had a lot of fun in Winter's Day. And I had so much fun that I'm stalling right now so that I can look up the quiz that I made for you guys. Because I'm all delayed. And I want you guys to have the quiz because I thought it would be fun. And do you guys have the quiz handy? Because then it'll just score you. No? Yes? No? Well, just in case you're wondering, I do, I post a quiz about weekly onto a bunch of different forums and stuff, and it's usually about Guild Wars, and it's kind of fun if you ever want to actually take it and give it a shot. And this week, I did a quiz on Winter's Day because I wanted to find out how well you guys knew
Oh, I see it.
Winter's Day. So I'll try to do this the very, very best I can as I've just opened it. That was good stalling, by the way. I just want you to know. I was able to talk the entire time and work my computer, which is, I think is magic. Yeah,
Boom,
okay.
Boom can't rub his tummy and pat his head at the same time.
No, I can't do that. And so here we go. So this is question number 1 for you. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah, I've got it up. I'm ready.
Oh boy.
Okay, this is a fill in the blank.
Okay.
This is a fill in the blank. It is the celebration of the end of the season of the blank and the beginning of the season of the Zephyr. So your question is the blank. It is the celebration of the end of the season of the blank and the beginning of the season of the Zephyr. And here are your choices. Toy Maker Ticks, the Dynastic Reckoning, the Colossus, or Snowmen. Snowmen, lock in your answers.
I'll say Toy Master because that's the only thing I know of.
I am torn. I'm torn between Colossus and Dynastic Reckoning. I think I'm going to say the Colossus because Season of the Zephyr is what follows it. So Season of the Colossus sounds...
It is Season of the Colossus. You were correct.
Way to go, Tess.
You are correct. So Tess has got the first question right. I hope if you're playing along with us, you're also answering these fun and engaging questions. Okay, here we go. Question number 2. Winter's Day events will be held at Lions Arts once again, despite the rebuilding of Divinity's Reach. This is true or false? Winter's Day events will be held
false.
at Lions
But
Arts
we kind of cheated.
once again, despite the rebuilding of Divinity's Reach. And it is false. It is not. I switched it. Did you see what I did there? I just flipped the two names. That's what I
saw
did.
that.
Did you see that? I made that happen. Okay, well, and it didn't even fool you guys. Okay, that was good. That would have fooled me, by the way, because I'd have been like, true. It's always true. What is the name of the famous toy-making inventor? Now we got
Tix.
toy.
Yeah, it takes.
There you go. Okay, you guys are nailing this. Like, I'm not even having to try. The choices were Toy Maker Crunch. I thought that might fool some people. Elder Scrooge, which I think is awesome, by the way, and we'll talk. Yeah, well, there's a question about Elder Scrooge. Tix and Bernadette's. All right, so here we go. This character is a supporter of Grenth during Winter's Day events. This character is a supporter of Grenth during Winter's Day events. Here are your choices. Desmenia, Rift Warden, Ebenezer Scrooge, or Elder Scrooge. Those are your choices. So you got Desmina, Rift Warden, Ebenezer Scrooge, or the Elder Scrooge.
I'm going to go with, just because the way that Grenth is spelled, because it's like a play on Grinch, I think I am going to go with Scrooge, Skruuj. I think I'm going to go with that one.
I'll
about
go
you,
with your
Maltus?
first response.
Desmina.
Desmina.
It is, in fact, the Elder Scrooge. And,
I am
and,
killing you, Milla. I'm killing
the Elder
you.
Scrooge, I wrote down his quote because I thought it was pretty funny. Winter's Day is about embracing Grenth's harsh justice. Not all this namby-pamby singing about gift-giving and banquets. Such merriment only angers the god of death. On top of that, I could really use some peace and quiet. Bah. There you go. That's his quote from the game, which I thought it was kind of fun. All right, here we go. Question number 5. Every Winter's Day season, blank overcomes Grenth and the cold of winter to spread peace throughout the land and bring warmth to the hearts of children.
Oh, this one's going to be hard.
Okay, so the first choice is Duana, Grandpa Kolchak, the Enchanted Snowman, and Grandfather Kringle. So
I'm
there's
going
your
to
choices.
go with Grandpa Kolchak. That sounds like a Guild Wars 2 name.
The last two don't fit. I
So
don't think.
Enchanted Snowman, Grandfather Kringle. So you're saying those are out. So you got Duana and Grandpa Kolchak.
Duana is.
But Duana is as a
that's-
goddess.
She is a goddess. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, I'll
know.
go with option B as well.
All right. It is, in fact, Duana. So Duana fights Grenth.
Oh,
There you go.
boo.
There you
The
go.
one time I don't pick that kind of name. Of
You guys did very, very well. And there's some more questions, but I'm going to leave that for our viewers. So you can go to this quiz, by the way, by going to pc.kindofabigdealgaming.com. And I have the quiz posted for everybody if you want to play it. It's also in our Facebook, and it's a few other places. So if you want to play along with our quiz, that's how you can do it. Thank you so much for playing, you two. I thought that was very, very good. And I want to get into...
You put Toasticles in that question.
I did. I put yes. Toasticles is in the quiz. He's one of the answers.
That's so funny.
So if you play it, you'll find our friend Toasticles. He's in there. Toasticle. I wouldn't leave Toasticles out. He's a legend. He's a Precursor Cast legend now. All right. Well, I wanted to, real quick, too, before we go, I just wanted to tell everybody, come and join our guild and have some fun with us. We had a lot of fun last night, and I just want to remind everybody, if you're looking for a fun place, you're looking for something fun to do, and you want something that might be an hour late, let's say, getting on a podcast because they couldn't get their computer to update, this is the guild for you. Okay, this is the one for you. So, Tess, go ahead and tell them how they can get in touch with us to be a part of our great group. And by the way, I wanted one thing before I go. I know I'm messing everything up, but if you log on and we're not there and you can't reach us to get into the guild, just send us a message and then we'll invite you, because we've had some people that are like, well, you weren't on or at certain times, and with Christmas, we're on sporadic, we're not on all the time. So if you get that situation, just send us a message and we will get you on and into the guild. We would love to do that. Okay, go ahead, Tess, take it away.
All right. Well, first of all, you can go to our website at pc.kindofabigdealgaming.com. You can tweet us at PrecursorCast. You can email us at precursorpodcast@gmail.com. You can tune in every Wednesday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific at Twitch TV
Sometimes.
PrecursorCast.
Just depends on how I'm
It
doing.
should be at that time.
Yes, depends
as long
on how
as
I'm
Boom
doing.
doesn't
Right.
screw everything up. You can visit our Facebook at facebook.com/Precursor Podcast, or you can call us 702-625-1337.
Yes. I think that's so awesome. Tess
I did
made
it. Yeah, it took me a
Tess
while.
made a wonderful jingle for our phone number. And I think it's great.
702.
I'm gonna play this all the time.
1337.
Now, if you're driving in the car right now, you can't tell me that you're not singing.
702-625-1337.
You're singing that right now. And so when you're bored at work and you're like, what should I do? You're going to be like, I know what I'll do. I'll call into the podcast. And I'm just going to use
702-625-1337.
There you go. It is now etched in your brain, the phone number for the Precursor Cast. That was a lot of fun. That was a really good test, by the
God.
way. I think that's super fantastic.
I learned how to use GarageBand.
You did a good job. You even did you added the little bass line in there. You got the little hi-hats working. It was good.
There's some
It was
piano.
good.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. Well, we are also now on iTunes, and we're on all the different places where lots of great podcasts are viewed. So go ahead and get on there, and we love all of those 5-star reviews. So make sure you give us a review, and shout-outs are also super, super welcome. Let's move into our moment of Zen. Let's start with Tess today. What is your moment of Zen?
I had total ADD. When Winter's Day came. There's so much to do. Like we all logged in to play last night, and probably about 4 or 5 times, people were saying, "Tess, where are you? Tess, where are you?" And I'm like,
times?
too many things.
There were times you were gone. The very minute we got out of we went into that dungeon, you were just pew, gone. We had no idea where you were. And then what was great for Militus and I is as you're flying around, who knows where you are, right? We just hear, this is so much fun.
Or we heard the depths of peril as she was falling from the jump puzzle. I just heard all the range of emotion. I was like, "Are you?"
That
okay,
was so
Tess?
much fun. Although I will say, probably the best moment last night was, you have to imagine, I wish I had this a video so I could post it, but I don't. So imagine my stationary camera, all right, because I'm not moving around. It's just stationary. I'm standing there and I'm looking something up. But I was laughing so hard, I almost peed my pants because Boom used the snowman potion to change into a snowman.
Oh, yeah, that was
And
good.
all I could see was just boink, 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 across the screen, and then it would disappear for a little while, and then a few seconds later, boink, 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 the other way. And it was floppy hat, and it was
The hat's
so
what made it so funny because his hat
Oh
was
my
bouncing like a
God.
slinky on top of his head. It was bouncing up and down as he would jump across the screen. It was
It
great.
is so much fun. It's so much fun, but I'm bouncing around, and then 2 seconds later, Tess is talking about Dolyek's pooping.
Oh, well, they poop presents. And so I was like, poop more presents.
Yeah, you were like, come on, I need 2 more presents. Give me a poop. Come on, give me a poo. That's what
You have to admit,
that's what
it
we had
is
going.
funny as hell
It
to
is
see a
funny.
bunch of people standing behind the arse of a Dolyak, like, give it to me now.
Come on.
You got this train of people like, give it.
You can do it. Eat your fiber. We got this one.
It's disturbing.
Well,
Fun.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that puzzle, but I'm glad you had a lot of fun with that, Tess.
Oh my God, that was so much fun. That was my moment of bleh.
Your moment of zen was the puzzle.
And her moment of zen partially can be seen on our Facebook page because of her
Oh, yeah, she
awesome
recorded it.
achievement of getting halfway in the jump puzzle.
I only got halfway, but it was
Still,
so
that's
much
awesome.
fun.
It's
I was
farther
all
than I got.
clammy. My
I
hands were all sweaty.
couldn't
It
do
was,
it.
yeah.
That damn puzzle. That's okay.
I
That was
still don't think
fun.
it's as bad as a tower boom.
That was a fantastic moment of zen. Militus, how about you? What is your moment of zen this week?
My moment of zen this week is, I've been staying in Corteria quite a bit, so I've been
Right.
gaining a lot of mastery experience and points.
Mm-hmm.
So I look up at today. I look up today, and I'm like, hey, I'm in the last tier of my legendary. That's interesting. Like I'm in the tier 4, and I'm
Wow.
about a third of the way across tier 4.
Wow.
I thought I better go figure what this thing's about. So I walk over to Lion's Arch, and I go over to the vendor, and he's like, you can buy right now the list of things you need to collect for kudzu, your legendary bow. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So
happening.
I bought it, and bam, I say all the list of the things I have to go get, and it tells me where they are, and it tells me where I should go. So I'm pretty pumped about starting to work on that collection.
Holy
Yes,
cow.
yes.
That's going to be
Well-
fantastic.
Except for, I hate to rain on your parade.
Rain on it.
Oh, man. Here we go.
What I've read
Oh,
in
man.
forums is that it's actually cheaper just to buy it
Really? I wonder how that would work.
because of all the mats, the mats that you
right.
need to collect. I mean, I guess you could, but then it takes something like 100 days to craft everything because
And
of cooldowns.
I'm cool with that entirely because
Yep.
the way I'm approaching the legendary is a marathon, not a sprint. Like if I can collect something here or there, test, here or there, it honestly, if I don't have this thing in a year, I wouldn't be surprised.
And Tess wants it now.
Yeah.
Tess wants it
Yeah.
tomorrow. Right, Tess?
I want it, yes.
Yes, you
no,
wanted it
I have to do it
yesterday.
fast.
Yeah, you want
I
that
can't
thing
wait.
done. You wanted
Now.
to finish the jumping puzzle with the legendary.
Yes. Out.
Yes.
Get over my
champion.
head.
Right.
In victory.
But I have to say, a close second on my moment of zen has to do with Winter's Day. Is I think I might have been the first one to go over there because I logged in, the patch hit, and I was just sure. I assumed all of Divinity's Reach was going to be decorated, right? So I landed at Divinity's Reach. I'm looking around like, okay, there's nothing going on, and this is the really cool part about MMOs. That's why I want to take this moment for a second. We forget how cool it is to experience content when we're naive to that content. And then we lament about it years later about how great it was, how awesome it was. And so my whole time in Guild Wars 2, I've been trying to take this approach of don't do that. Actually enjoy it now. Enjoy the moment now. So I come down the bridge because it's in that one section right at Divinity's Reach where they have, I guess, the carnivals and all the different, events.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I kind of come down the ramp, and then it's like I'm staying in a vista. I look up, and I just see snow and candy canes and bouncing snowmen and people running by with their little Christmas
Reindeer
light
noses, yeah,
selves
and everybody's,
on.
yeah.
And I was like, this is pretty freaking cool. I just kind of sat there for a minute on the edge of the bridge and just kind of looked at everything for a while. And I thought, this is sweet. This is my first time to ever see this content that a lot of people have seen in like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a really close second or maybe first moment of zen for me.
It was so pretty.
It
That
was.
Winter's Day is gorgeous. And it's way more accessible than the Halloween one, you guys. So much more. Like I said, I got halfway through it and I barely even made it around like one little turn of the clock tower thing. So it's way more accessible.
You do know you need to drink 10,000 drinks to get that achievement, by the way. 10,000.
Working on it.
You're working on it in real life. Well, Milton says it's funny that you brought this up because it was one of the things I wanted to bring up on the show today was even for the experienced player, I think, when you look at like Divinity's Reach or some of these levels, there's so many different spots in Guild Wars 2 where you do almost need to just kind of stand there for a minute and look around. Like, it is crazy good, the amount of just awe-inspiring awesomeness that you kind of take for granted because sometimes you get like you're in quest mode or you're like, I gotta go get this, or I'm protecting this, or I'm fighting this. But if you stop for a minute and you look, you're just like, somebody thought all this up. There's game designers out there that are thinking these levels up, and they put in details that are almost always overlooked, but they're in there. and I think it's so cool. Even in the when we went up to the airship and we played it Winter's Day, we'll talk about it a little bit. Just stop for a minute and look around. I don't care if you've been doing this for 3 years or not. It's really awe-inspiring, the achievements that they've made making this game. It's
gorgeous.
It's crazy.
I think it's the best looking MMO. I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of another one that it's as gorgeous.
It's definitely, they paid attention to
it
detail.
is stunning.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. And a wonderful moment of zen. Wonderful moment of zen. Well, I had a special moment of zen this week.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Here it comes.
Oh, yes.
Here it comes.
And
here it comes. We haven't heard anything else but this for the last 27 hours.
Since that happened.
I wanted to, so because of my computer crash, I didn't have time. I was trying to find some trumpets to play while I was telling everybody this. Exactly. I crafted my ascended weapon. Yes. And I did it all on my own. So I went and got all the that took a long time. I've been working on that thing for months. I mean, I would say I have a good solid 3 months in crafting my ascended greatsword for my warrior. And when I got it, I was just there. The sense of pride was like so awesome. And I was like, yes. And I used it and I was killing stuff and little tiny doll houses. I was just smashing them. It was so fun.
That was so much fun.
It was so much fun. So that was my first moment of zen, and I had to give it an extra little just because it was so freaking amazing. The other moment.
Milla, did you know? Just really quick interjection. Yeah. Did you know? Doing a lot of hand things. Did you know the Boom crafted and ascended this week? Did you hear about that?
Not just an ascended weapon.
I thought he was just crafting up some food.
Did you?
Personally.
I want to say that I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
14
maybe. I might have heard it around the way. But, here's the thing. I'm going to give him a pass to Gloat because...
Yes, I mean, that's true.
It is a big achievement to craft. I mean, just getting one component, in my opinion, getting one component of my ascended gear is like, I'm like, yes, I got that one component. I'm good. So yeah, I think you should stand up and certainly enjoy it. Boom, enjoy your moment.
It was so fun. In fact, I had everybody on TeamSpeak, and I'm like, okay, everybody, here it goes. I'm gonna craft it, and I walked them through the painstaking time it took to craft it, and I was like, yeah. And actually, Zolder, bless his heart, was standing right behind me, and he's like, that thing looks pretty cool. He just like interjects like this.
That's pretty good, Zolder.
I know. He just like instantly boosts me up. He's just such a nice guy. It was really cool. And then, so I had a couple other moments of zen. I know I'm long-winded, but Toasticles, who
Toasticles!
he also goes by Toasty.
Oh,
so
that's cute.
Yes, he goes by Toasty. He ran.
We broke Militus.
I know we broke him.
Sorry, I thought we were gonna start calling him Toasticles, but no, it's still Tosticles.
It's Tosticles for the
Tosticles.
rest forever.
It's Tosticles, Toasticles. There's a lot of different names going around, but anyway, he ran an entire starting zone with me. So I was on my new Necromancer, who is now level 20.
Congrats.
And I was in the very first level, the very first zone there over in, and I'm doing a Sylvari, so I was over there with all the trees. And he was like, hey, man, what are you working on? I said, I'm just trying to level this guy up and do the zones. He already has everything. I mean, he was like, he already has like 20 levels in his HOTS stuff, so he's way ahead, or 40 levels or whatever it is. But he came over with me, and we ran for hours, and he just ran with me, and I got 100% completion in that zone, and it was all because he was just like running with me. He's like, oh, that point's over here, and this is here, and just, it was so much fun. So I got a shout out to him because that was a lot of fun. It's so much fun, and everybody's just like, oh, I'll hop in there, and I'll do this, and I'll give you some advice, and I'll do all that. Other than that, I ran some PvP, and I got some stuff to talk about by that. It was so fun. PvP was really, really... It was a good time. I even won a ranked match.
He did. I heard him do it.
I did.
He did.
I even have the video to prove it. I won a ranked PvP match. So I'm feeling really good, and I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I can break out of that first tier, because you have to, well, I'll talk to you a little bit about it later, but you have to get so many wins by the end of the year, and then it bumps you into a reward category. So I really want to do that. And so that was really, really fun. And I've decided now, at this point, I just want to level everything.
Yeah, I know, right?
I want to have one of everything. I want to have it all. I want to just keep going. It's 6 years of gameplay for me right now, because I just want to do it all. It's just so much freaking fun. So that was my moment of zen. That was my moment of
Militus
zen.
almost laughs as much as at that is me going.
They're both awesome. They're both great.
By the way, if anybody has necro tips for me, I would love them, because I just don't know how to play it very well. But I have
one tip
love
for
it.
you. So the guy today I was playing PvP, he sort of did this as I stabbed him and finished him and said, "Suck it, Reaper, die." So that might be a tip for you.
The tip is
if
to
you're-
just
Say
die.
"Suck it, Reaper."
No. When you die at the hands of a ranger,
Right.
just shake, cry, and say, "Rangers are awesome."
And say Rangers
As he
are
did,
awesome.
as he no doubt did today. As I was,
And you just kept
Reapers!
doing it. You kept hitting F and trying to
I
do
was
finishing
him
move,
3 and
finishing
4
move,
times.
finishing move.
His body was
Yeah.
already gone. Okay, I'm still sitting
And
there
you're
trying
just
to
over
finish
there
him.
going,
That's how much I hate Reapers. Okay.
Well, there you go. There you
But
have
hey,
it.
sometime sometime on the podcast, and maybe not tonight, but sometime I would love to see you, maybe in your around level 40, 50, 60, you played it for a while,
Yeah.
to kind of tell us about the class, because it's one of the very, other than the fact I hate them, it's one of, in my opinion, it's one of the least known classes I know how to play. Like, I know how to play the Warrior fairly well, Guardian fairly well, fairly. But I know nothing about the Necromancer. Nothing.
Guardian
liking
is
it.
kind of the best. Just saying.
They're really nice. I know.
I'm liking this necro. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun, especially with large AOE mobs. They're just they burn them down. You can take a huge AOE mob, and you just, I mean, it's like not even fair for anybody else that's in that zone with you, because you're just like burning them all down, and they're running over there, and by the time they come over, you've got everything down. It's really, I don't know, it's kind of a fun class, and I would love to hear other people's comments and just kind of let me know. I feel like I'm gonna hit 80 with him in a couple weeks. Like, he's just leveling. The leveling is so fast, and you know, I'm gonna do some PvP. I'm gonna do some different things. We'll kind of see. I'm still running Warrior as my main, but we'll kind of see where this goes. Again, to reiterate what I just said, I like my Warrior. I think Engineer is fun. I'm liking this Necro. You know, I played Thief a little bit. I thought that was good. I don't even know what to do. I'm like, I want all of them to be all max level with
It's
all
like
the stuff.
Pokemon.
It's crazy. Yeah, collect them all. That's good. I should have had that sound effect. That would have been awesome, you know, for right now. It would have been really, really cool. Well, Militus, you had mentioned a community spotlight today. What did you have for our community /podcast fancy video thing podcast?
Well,
stuff?
you know, every week, last week, we talked about Guild Wars Reporter, right?
Right.
Every week, we try to kind of spotlight one community. I had forgotten about 10-Ton Hammer. Like 7-8 years ago, 10-Ton Hammer was a go-to website for me. I used to go there all the time for WoW news. And then I started bouncing around the different MMOs, and I just had sort of forgotten about it, other than a couple of guides. And by the way, 10-Ton Hammer has some fantastic crafting guides, like maybe some of the best ones for Guild Wars too. Some of the best ones I've seen. But anyways, from last week to this week, kind of my thing for the show is I usually try to dig and try to find stories, you know.
Right.
And so I go to the different sites and I'm pulling through it. And I just forgot about 10-Ton Hammer. And then I'm finding all these great stories. In fact, they have a column called Persistent Worlds at 10-Ton Hammer that is a must read. Like, I'm going to be reading it once a week to see if I can find cool stuff to bring on the show. So that's my spotlight, my highlight of the community is, hey, even though it's not a Guild Wars 2 only resource,
Absolutely.
go check out 10-Ton Hammer. They have some great articles out there and great columns.
Yeah, there's been some really good art. There's some entertaining writing as well. Like they're a little more creative in their blog writing, which I think is kind of fun. So when you get an article from somebody, it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. So 10-ton hammer, check it out. Now we're going to go into our adventures in noobness. We're moving right along tonight. Adventures in noobness. And this week, I thought nothing was more noob than us with a couple other people. Almost everybody else besides, by the way, us three has run this, I think, event before. But we had no idea what we were doing in Winter's Day. I didn't even know where to go. I started off, so when I logged in, I just happened to be in the PvP area, the starting area, and it was just decorated crazy. And I was like, wow. I mean, it was so much stuff. It was crazy. And then we had to get into the Winter's Day activities, and I joined Militus in there, and it was super, super fun. But it's definitely kind of our noob moment for today.
Absolutely. It was so much fun. I didn't even care that I was dying all the time in that stupid jumping puzzle. That's how fun it was. Like I wasn't getting frustrated with it either. It was so pretty. And I want snowflake wings and I want the magic wand. Did you guys see the magic wand toy thing?
Yeah.
So cute. Oh my gosh, so much fun.
I bought everything.
Winners Festival.
I had to have it all.
MMO.
So I went and I already have the wings. I have the earmuffs. I have the Santa hat. I just went for it. I had to have it.
I was having trouble trying to figure out how to wrap presents. That's how much of a noob I was. I was buying the gifts, like the sword and everything. Tess, I'm like, this is cool. I'll keep this for me. I was so selfish, bastard. I'm like, I'm not giving the orphans anything. Yeah. This is Milla's toys. Most of it I can't even use, right? And so I'm figuring out how to wrap toys, and then I finally figured out how to find the orphans and all that kind of stuff. But again, I'm going to call back to something I mentioned earlier. I mean, there are guides out there to it. I purposely did not read them because I wanted to be naive when I stepped in. I wanted to be like, what the hell is this? How do I do this? What do I do? I don't know, man. This is the old Milla coming out, so just bear with me for a second. There was a time when we didn't go to YouTube, when we didn't go to sites to look up exactly where to go at this point, that point, collect this quest, do this. There was a time we just kind of organically explored MMOs and had fun. And so that's what I tried to do with Winter's Day, is just try to organically experience it and look at the achievements in the game and go, hey, like today I went out and killed Jormag. Went and killed the Clogged Jormag because in game I just happened to read through my little achievement guide and say, hey, you got to kill him twice during Winter's Day. I'm like, cool. I'll catch him on the boss train and I'll kill him today. But it wasn't like I was on a website going down a checklist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That feels like work to me. It doesn't feel like MMO gaming. And I don't know. This is sorry, more midlife crisis.
I
for
loved
Maltis,
it. It's just all a midlife crisis. Well, you were so engaged playing last night that I didn't even hear you. You, for a lot of the time, you were just silent, and I could tell it was because you were like concentrating.
No,
you
admit
like,
it.
I'm
You
going to
thought
be
I was
doing it.
asleep. Admit it. You're like,
We always think you're asleep.
There's a
Noah.
part of me that thought you were asleep, but then the other part of me was like, you know what? I think he's actually awake. He's just having a lot of fun. Now, Tess over there, on the other hand, was just like, wee.
yeah, she was making up for my silence, wasn't she? Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
she was going for it.
I'm still at that exhaustion level. So everything it was last night was hilarious. Absolutely everything. I'd fall and I'd just giggle as I fell down. Oh gosh.
And I still need to find 9 of those damn little orphans. I can't find them. I've been looking around.
You have some time, don't you?
And I'm just going around, and I can't find the orphans.
I thought.
And and we went to an orphanage. It turns out the orphanage was a dead end. I couldn't get it. It was a whole.
Go figure, right?
Yeah, it was. There's a whole thing going on with
So,
me and the orphans last night. It was rough. I'm not gonna lie.
About the orphans, I thought that was so. There's 15 total that you have to find the entire season, or
I don't know.
it's 15 every day. It's daily.
It's probably a daily. I don't know. It's probably
I don't know which one.
It's probably some insane amount that I have to get 6 million orphans, and I can't even find 8. So, that's how good I am.
You were
at this
even talking
game.
about making orphans last night. You're like, let's find 2 parents.
Yeah,
and make some
Zoldrup.
orphans.
That was Zoldrup. Zoldrup's like, I'm just going to kill some parents and then have an orphan. Now, that's not representative, by the way, of our guild. That wasn't, we're not trying to be mean here. But yeah, at the same time, we were like, where are you guys? So we turned something that was supposed to be all about giving and being generous we turned it into a total disaster. So we apologize to anybody we offended with our orphan talk, but no, it's really, it is, there are so many really cool events, and I tried to do the music thing. I haven't got that, the one that's like Rock Band. I didn't really get a chance to do that very well, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit that.
The bells?
Yeah, I'm going to do the bells. I'm going to do that one. I had a blast in the dungeon. And then the other thing I want to talk about is the PvP zone where you throw snowballs at each other.
Yes.
I hated
is so
that.
much fun.
I didn't like it.
I think that is one of the most fun game modes ever. I'm going to play that. I promise, after this podcast is done, I'm hopping on that, and I'm going to be hucking snowballs at people, trying to just, rack up the points.
You don't like the idea of having a machine gun that shoots snowballs, Tess? Really?
Well, okay. It could be because I got into a really bad group, and so it was just a slaughter.
Oh, no.
I think we had 0 points at the end of it. And you know how I get with PvP. So
you just need go out and have fun. You need to run it 30 times, I think, for the achievement. So you got to get out there and you got to play some of that. I'm going to do it more and more. I felt like we got beat. But once I figured it out, I was like, die, and I was like just hitting everybody with the snowballs, and I was like, yes. It was so much fun. I think that would be a cool level to have in regular PvP if they could make it work out. I don't know, you huck mud balls at each other. I don't know how it works out in the summer, but I'm like, it was really fun. It was kind of interesting because what I enjoyed about it is that when you were hucking the snowballs, it slowed the speed that you could walk down and everything. So there was not like all sorts of escaping. And your limited action bar becomes even more limited once you have the snowball weapon. So there was like, it was easier for me to wrap my mind around it real quick. It wasn't real hard. It was like, here's a charge, here's a shoot the snowballs, here's a couple other little things. So great.
Did you try the
great.
different class type things? The different?
No, I didn't even know about that. I just grabbed my thing and went. What?
Oh,
explain.
Well, because when you pick it up, you can choose what role you want to play. And so I tried 2 different roles. I tried the heavy gunner, which is just like,
yeah.
What?
I didn't even get to play that. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go back.
That's the one I played.
That is so much. That's so much epic.
You walk so slow.
You're a tank, basically. I mean, you're just kind of rolling around lethargically.
You guys are making me
you're
want
like
to
a glass
cut this
cannon.
short. I'm just going to cut it short, and I'm going to go out and play some of this, because now I'm like dying. That's going to be really fun.
And then I did the support, which I did much better as, I'm running around. I built like igloo walls to block them from throwing snowballs at me, and I laid down a couple of those walls placed ice
right
patches.
In front of me.
Yeah, that one was more fun. I was better at that one.
Well, I just want to say to everybody, go and play the Winter's Day. If you're doing other things and stuff, you got to hop in there. It's a seasonal thing, so you don't have a lot of time. And yeah, it's going to take you away from doing some of your other stuff that you were trying to do. But remember, it's just not a hurry. You're not in a hurry. You're in a race to nowhere if you're trying to get to the top of this thing faster than anybody else. So don't worry about the race to nowhere. Instead, just enjoy the things as they come up and take some time and just play the game and have a blast.
Really quick before we get off of Winter's Day, we just have some talk in the chat talking about how cool it would be to have like a raid style snowball fight.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like,
well, if you haven't
40
run
on 40, 100 on 100. Yeah.
If you haven't run the Tick Master or the Toy Master Tick instance, the fractal, you do get to spray paint. You get a spray paint gun and do get to spray paint little doll toys.
And you get to bash the hell out of toy houses. And
bash the crap out of
and if you kill
village.
everything, you get an achievement. So you got to kill all the doll houses. So we had a guildie that was like, you got to kill everything. And so we went around just smashing stuff. And I had my new ascended weapon. Did I tell you guys about that? And I was smashing all the dollhouses.
I don't remember him saying anything about that.
Wait,
fun.
you got an ascended
I
weapon,
did.
Boom?
It's so cool. It glows.
Holy crap!
It's got like an insignia on it, and it glows. It's like that's the sound I think it makes. I don't know if it really makes that sound.
It just does in your head.
It's super fun. So basically, the short of this, by the way, though, is if you're going to go play it, so everything gives you gifts. These gifts, you open them. When you open the gifts, you get some different rewards. There's some cool stuff you can get, as well as just like a bunch of filler stuff. Have some extra bag space ready because you will be opening lots.
Yes.
I think after our first run, I had like 60 after just the first thing, and
they
I
get
opened
drunk?
them. Yeah,
And eat. Eat and drink.
You have to eat it
And
all
be
and drink
merry.
it all. Just go for it. Just don't have to save any of this stuff. Just like click on it and go and have fun, and then be the snowman and be the reindeer and be the little light up guy, the lights, be all those things, and walk around, and you'll probably make one of us laugh when you do. So it'll be lots of fun. Well, we've got an exciting new segment. It's time for the Militus broke ass segment. That's right.
Is that like supposed to be Tennessee Hills music you're playing in the background?
It's kind of. It's.
I feel offended all of a sudden. For
It
some
was
reason.
kind of. It was supposed to be
So funny.
representative of the
waiting to hear like the
Militus broke
deliverance,
ass
but a ding 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 ding
segment.
ding line show up after at some point.
Yeah.
It was pretty close to that. It was that without being too offensive. How about that?
Oh, okay. So for the broke ass segment, have you guys looked at all the cool minis in the cash shop?
I'm not a big mini person.
You're not a mini person? No. What about you, Boom? Are you a mini person?
I will collect anything that they will sell me.
I mean, because I always see your
Legendary
your pet
mascot.
rock flopping behind you everywhere you
That
go.
is easily my favorite. Is the pet rock. I love that little fella. I have not
Does he have a
named.
name?
No, I have not named my pet rock. I will take suggestions from listeners, by the way, as to what I should
Boom.
name my pet rock. But he comes everywhere with me.
Have you seen my pet in game? I have a cat. Have you
Yes.
seen?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cat, right?
Yes, it's a beautiful cat, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you noticed his name?
I have.
We
Pretty
can't
sweet
say it
name.
on. Can we not say it on the
No, we
cast?
can
I
say
know,
it.
it's sorta dirty.
We're just.
It's sort of dirty.
I
Look
think
it up.
you can say it. Just go ahead and say it. I don't think you're going to offend anybody. Is it Log Dong?
No, but it might be after tonight. A few more drinks.
Oh my god!
I know you can get banned for having Log Dong as your main name, but can you get banned for that being your cat's name? That's what
Yeah,
we got.
cat's name.
That's what we need to
It's
find
not
out.
your
No.
pet. It's not like a. It's not a mini. It's your actual.
No,
like,
it's my
ranger
actual pet.
Oh,
My
okay.
ranger pet.
Yes, yes.
Her name, because she's a she, is Tess. She follows me everywhere. She
It's true.
sits at my feet.
You have not seen that?
Meow. Where should I attack next? Oh, great Militus Log Dong. Where should I?
Here's the thing that I find the funniest about this is that we've been playing and we've been going into zones and doing all this stuff, and
She's
Tess
never
is just running
noticed.
around. She has never noticed. This
You
has been for
named
so
your cat?
long. Yes,
Tess.
yes.
My cat Tess, and you didn't even notice.
Well, because I don't pay attention. I'm too busy
She's
actually
zoned.
killing things.
I gotcha.
She's
Just
only
saying.
thinking of what she's got to do next, so she's
So-
in the zone.
So for the
I don't know
pet
whether
that's-
or not to be offended or like flattered by that.
I did say it was a beautiful cat.
You did, but then you said she sits at my feet and asks me that she should go kill
does.
them.
If you
She's
know,
like, I want to go kill for you, Militus,
yeah.
because I love you.
I don't love you. At least now you have a Tess that loves you because I hate you.
Oh
I'm gonna
no,
fight you.
you'll come around.
Have you guys also seen the Winter's Day snow globe weapons?
No, now that I'm interested in. Are they cute?
Oh, you can't get those from the cash shop though, Boom.
They are for Black Lion tickets.
Oh,
And
I will
there's a
never
vendor.
Real cash shop of Guild Wars 2.
There is a vendor in what's the starting zone for the Sylvari? What's the little city over there? The Grove? Yeah, the Grove. The Grove is where I found the vendor, and I went through and I was looking at them, and I'm telling you, I want them all. They're that good. I put out a message into another forum today. I was just like, okay, so if I need 2 Black Lion tickets, because I think they're 2 Black Lion tickets, I was like, how many keys am I gonna need, like on average? Because I gotta do the math and see like, how much money I gotta be saving up, how many extra jobs I gotta have. I will go snow shovel my neighbor's walk right now to earn enough money to get these snow globes because they're that stinking cool. But if I buy one, I kind of feel like it's going to cost me like $39.50 to get one. So that's kind of crazy.
Well, like you were saying earlier, not in the podcast, but some other form, that's right. It's chance, right? If you get those scraps.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Okay, so I'm promise I'm not complaining, but I just want to make one observation. Since they ArenaNet changed key farming. You guys remember that?
Yes,
where
yes, absolutely.
they limited how many keys you could farm per week during doing the story quest. Take a guess as to how many, because remember they said what was going to happen was they were going to nerf that, but it was going to be okay because you were going to get Black Lion keys that dropped in the world.
Right.
Care to take a guess how many Black Lion keys I have ever seen drop ever in my time in Guild Wars 2?
I know exactly how many for me.
Nada.
I have never had one drop.
Not one. Now, chest, yes. Keys,
Yeah.
nope.
Right.
I've never had just a key drop for me.
Yeah. And that's my thing. So I don't mind them being available for tickets. I really don't. I don't mind that there's some like really substantial price to pay to get these weapons. I kind of wish though that they had just had them in the cash shop as well.
Right. That's what
Like,
I'm
I
saying.
just
Remove
wished-
the chance from it.
Yeah, I wish that there was just a chance where I could just buy it as well. Like it seems a little weird that somebody might get it for $5 of keys. So they put $5 in and they get enough keys to get it. And then somebody else is going to put in, like me, $45 and I'll barely get the key. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird that way. Like,
Well, and here's the other
That's a little
issue
strange.
is that those keys, I've probably opened, I don't know, two dozen chests,
Yeah, me too.
you know?
Yeah.
I think I've gotten 6 scraps.
I think I'm at 8.
yeah, I did manage to get to
Scraps.
10 scraps,
Yeah,
and then I
scraps,
bought my
not
lightsaber.
entire.
So I got my
Does it
lightsaber.
take 10 scraps to...
To make a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how many tickets for the weapon you're looking at?
So
2.
so the lightsaber was only 1. So I bought the lightsaber because I did get to 10 scraps and I bought the lightsaber. This is 2 tickets, 2 full
Ooh.
tickets. Yeah,
That's
so
a
it's
lot
like
of scraps, 20
it's a lot.
scraps.
Now, with that being said, these are easily the coolest weapons I've ever seen. You've got to go look at them. They are
Did you link 'em?
everyone. No, I didn't link them in there, but we can do that later. But every single weapon is cool. They have a snow globe each one, and when the weapon shakes or moves, the snow globe moves around and all the snow. But it's done so tastefully. It's just really remarkable. So I am going to get one. I gotta just figure out. I gotta get a plan. Everybody was telling me that it's cheaper to buy gold and then buy keys and then still get it that way.
Really?
So, yeah, that's what everybody. The word
You
on the
can
street
buy...
is.
I didn't know you could buy keys with gold.
Oh, that
Yeah.
shield.
So that's what I've been told. So I had many
Those are
people that were
cool.
just like, it's just, or maybe it's even the weapon. I don't know if you can just get I don't know if the weapon can be for sale on the auction house. I don't know how that works anyway. But everybody told me just convert to gold and then get it that way. So I'm gonna look into that a little bit more. But I really, really want that. And then we had one last thing we wanted to mention, which was the stack increase.
Well, wait, before we move on, chat, Grey Rook has said that you can get some keys from PvP track rewards too.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
mental
I need to
note.
find that out.
I didn't know
I'm just
that
gonna
either.
have to
No.
chain it.
Here's the thing I need to do. I've been telling myself to do this and I haven't done it. I just need to run that first couple of chapters. It doesn't take that long.
No, it doesn't take that long.
And get a key. And here's the thing. Well, no, I was about to say that experience would go towards our Corteria masteries, but it won't.
You know, the
But
best
anyways.
part, Militus, is that you could name one of those characters Logdong, and then you could run it, and then you just delete it, and then you could
Test
go.
Logdong.
You could have Logdong the second, and then you just do it, and then you could just do third, and then fourth, and then you would just have lots of keys. It'd be great.
There we go. Yeah.
I am calling. I am calling people. I'm calling your wife.
Oh no, she's asleep. Don't call her.
Oh,
She'll wake up.
702-625-1337.
There you go. There
That's
you
Leet.
go.
You forgot
Leet.
the tag. That's
Yeah.
spells Leet.
It's Leet. That's good
I
enough.
left that for Boom.
Yes,
Oh,
I should have
okay.
said Leet or something like that. So the stack increase.
Okay.
Militus had some information about this, and we had
And I verified it today in the cash shop, by the way.
Yes, yes.
So
Okay.
it's not like you. Okay, it's not like, and this comes from Byron. Byron is our Facebook guy.
yes, yes.
Genius.
Yeah,
He's
he
our
is.
Facebook genius.
I know.
He gave me a couple.
He's like our
tips.
fact checker too, because like if I say anything, he tells me. He gives me the deets. Like I expect he'll probably give me a whole list of fantastic necro tips
And ways to get more keys and,
and ways to he'll have it all.
No doubt about it. Well, I remember I mentioned, and I thought I derped out, honestly, whenever we were talking about last week. But then I listened to the podcast again. I'm like, no, I didn't derp out. Like, that's what I thought it was. And that I said, after you mentioned that it was an increase of 250. And you're like, no, you can go up.
Right.
You said go
Go
up
up
to
to
1,500.
1,500, yeah.
So I was thinking, oh, that's a great deal. You buy it and you go from 250 to 1,500.
That's what I was thinking,
That's awesome. No, you go up in increments of 250.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
So when you buy it, you buy that. I think it's like
It's 800
Your
gems.
math is
Yeah.
so wrong on this piece of paper.
It's 800 gems to go up 250. So that's like 4,000 gems, which is like $8,000 US.
It's not $8,000.
it's a lot of cash.
It's something like that. I think that's
No,
the
it's-
conversion rate. Isn't it 2-to-1 for a gem? Yeah.
800 gems is $10.
800 gems is $10.
Yeah. So it might as well be $8,000. It's just a little outpriced for me. I'm not going to be doing it. I might go up to. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna pay for
I'll
it.
probably go
the 250 increase.
Yeah, I'll at
That'll
least
save
probably
me a
go that
ton
way
of
because
bank space.
I've got a lot of.
It's
I'm
$60.
on map. I'm on map overload, but yeah, I'm just making a recommendation, Arena Nets. We could cut that one down to 200 gems,
Yeah.
and you'd have me $10. $10 is that's my threshold. Just like
Hey.
Apple, my threshold to buy an Apple Watch is $249. Just so you know, $249. If you make it for $249, I'll buy it. Any higher than that, I don't want it. There you go. Okay, go ahead.
I know we're out of our noob segment, but this kind of ties in another point that Byron brought up to me, and I wanted to certainly spread this to anybody who's listening to this podcast, who's new to the game like us, is that you might be sitting on a lot of karma, okay? And let me back up. Let me say one thing before I mention the karma thing. As you're gathering mats, and don't be tempted to refine those mats. I got to the end of my ascended crafting, right? And I'm working on these insignias for my coat. And it turns out I need these bolts, these damask. And so some of them require I have linen tests. Well, guess what? I haven't farmed linen since I was level 40 something, 42, 43. I noticed that what I did back then was, for some reason, I made a bunch of linen patches. Don't know why the hell I did it, but I did. And I wasted a lot of bolts of linen. And so now I need a lot of bolts of linen to do my ascended stuff. I don't have them. I have wool. I have other materials, but I don't have linen. So I'm kind of upset about it. It costs a lot in the auction house. So Brian's like, Terry, here's what you do. You go over to Blood Tide Coast, and there's this quest, and he points it out to me. He's like, hey, this quest vendor sells cheap gloves for karma. So you go to this vendor, make sure you've done the quest. You spend like 256, 300 karma per glove. You buy 4 sets of those gloves. Now you can't take those gloves and then use one of your kits to break it down. You have to take it to the Mystic Forge, and you put the 4 gloves in the Mystic Forge. It spits out a pair of gloves that you can then take down using one of your kits to get the raw materials out of it. And so today I went over, instead of spending umpteen gold to buy all those bolts of linen, I spent in total, I think I spent 14,000 karma, 15,000 karma, and ended up with tons of linen as a result.
How much linen did you get from breaking down that one item?
I would get, here's the thing, it would depend on what the Mystic Forge spit out. Sometimes the Mystic Forge would spit out a green, and I would get 1 to 2 scraps, sometimes 3. But if it spit out a blue, Tess, I would get 4 and 5 scraps sometimes per item. So yeah, and it only takes 2, I think it takes 2 scraps of linen to make a bolt.
3.
3? So it didn't take much. I know that. So I was able to recover a lot of that without spending a lot of gold. I have 480,000 karma. I don't have that much gold.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So as a noob tip, that might be something people might want to do.
That's a great. That is a super great idea. I didn't even think of that. I would have never thought to take them and throw them in the Mystic Forge. I have not messed with the Mystic Forge.
I haven't either.
I haven't
either.
At some time, I'm gonna have to go and sit in front of that thing and just toss crap into it and see what happens.
What do you do with all your runes that you get from when you break stuff down?
I sell a lot of them.
I just sell it.
They're not great. They're not great.
Why, what am I supposed to do?
Those, you shove those in the Mystic Toilet, and there's a chance of getting an upgrade. So if you put like 4 green runes in there,
do they have to be the exact same ones though?
No, just any 3, because there are sigils, and then there are also runes. So if you put 4 runes in, doesn't matter what kind they are, there's a chance you can get a yellow. If you put 4 yellows in, there's a chance you could get an orange. So and
those oranges, you need them, yeah.
And those oranges, it depending on what you can get some good money off of them. Force, I think, is going for 17 gold right now.
Right. Wow. That's
a
good idea. See, these are 2 great tips that I just learned. That's tremendous. Now, I'm going to give you another tip. So the whole world is turning into a bunch of different currencies. So here's a tip for you. So this year, when you get some gift card for Christmas, take the gift card to the grocery store, turn it in for a GameStop card. So just swap it. So if you go to Target, you can turn it in. Well, Target, you can actually turn it in for a Guild Wars 2 card. But you can basically, if you're clever, you can convert all of your cards, your Best Buy, anything you get, you can convert them all to Guild Wars cards, which will get you gems. So all of the gift cards that you're getting this Christmas, you're just going to convert them to gems, and then you
can send Tess a Christmas present.
Yeah, because I need 8,000 US to get my
60. It's
cool
$60.
But see, if I did this, I've got all these gift cards. You could probably figure out a way to do it with Amazon too. I haven't quite. I think they do sell the cards on Amazon, so you could convert Amazon real easy. When it gets tricky is you get the grocery store card. You get your great aunt, who's got the cat, and she's like, I got you a gift card to the grocery store. And you're like, oh, thank you, it's so nice. And you take that, then it gets trickier because they probably don't at the grocery store have a Guild Wars card. So you're going to have to convert it to some place that does have a Guild Wars card. Then you're going to have to take that and shake and then go buy the thing. But you can do it. There's always a way, I think, to convert your gift cards to Guild Wars 2 money. So there you go. That's my other tip. Let's go ahead and move on into the news. It's time for the news. We've got all kinds of great things going on in Tyria, and we had all sorts of changes and updates. And the one I like is the thing that matters most to casuals, which was the new hairstyles. Did you guys get a chance to see the new hairstyles?
I literally maybe an hour before we started, I saw the new hairstyles. I didn't know that we had some, and I'm gonna go play.
Nice.
So here's the thing. right? Most shows that you listen to, most podcasts you listen to are going to be like, okay, so you're going to need this spell with this thing to do this thing so that when that guy does this, you can attack him and you're going to win and you're going to do all this stuff. And then on this show, we're like, new hairstyles. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
And I got to say, I like them. You know me, I like mohawks. So I don't have hair where the mohawk is. So all my characters, I live through them, and I do that by always having a mohawk. That's like my thing. And there's really good styles on there. There's one specifically that I know for a fact Tess is going to have. It's the one with the little hair that goes over. I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to totally.
Although my guardian has my haircut, so I think I'm gonna leave it.
Your guardian does have your haircut.
Yeah.
Militus, what does your pet have? What kind of haircut?
Well, I keep her cut pretty low. I keep it cut pretty much, down to the skin. She's a bear kitty.
I am going to murder you.
I can't even comment. while I'm laughing, everybody.
702-625-1337.
Send all your complaints right there.
To Militus.
That was
my kitty is she's black and she's pretty, and I keep her.
You don't want that
her
too
fur
long.
cut. Yeah,
sure,
you don't want the kitty fur to get long. No.
Let's continue.
All right.
Let's move on.
I can't even move on. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time. here. All right. Militus boons and PvP. We had an article.
Okay. Here's the thing. So there's an article real quick. Let's just touch on this.
Are we trimming the
one
boons?
argument.
Are we keeping them short? What are we doing with the
Oh
boons?
my God.
We're going to trim this subject down to the skin. Pretty
Okay,
much.
we're
Let's
gonna
get
get
down
it.
to the skin.
Pretty much keep the boons short. All right.
So there's an argument going around right about imbalance in PvP, and a lot of it's centered around boons. So boons in PvP can be very disadvantageous to groups who can't stack those booms really, really high, right? Versus groups who can stack them super, super high. And there's an article over on 10 Ton Hammer, since we mentioned them earlier. It's written by Louis Burnell. It was published on the 8th of December. And it talks about that boons are the balance problem in PvP. Now, here's the thing I just want to, please don't come after me with your hate. But I think Louis has some really good points in that, here's the thing. But boons are so much fun in PvE. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
I think it's fun as hell to stack on people and
right.
have all that crazy dips going on, and it's a lot of fun. So I don't want to lose boon stacking in PvE. So he makes the basic argument that, look, here's what we need to do to fix some of this imbalance. Just treat them differently in PvP versus PvE in terms of limit those stack counts. Whereas, hey, you want to go crazy on the Claw of Jormag and have umpteen stacks of might or whatever else on you, that's fine. But in PvP, no.
Right.
Let's set it at a particular cap.
And there appears, I hear rumors anyway when I listen to stuff, and I think I was listening to Wooden Potatoes today, actually, and I think he had a little thing, and he was kind of talking about this thing. And it sounds like ArenaNet's not really, it sounds like they want, when they make a change to a class, they kind of want it to affect not only PvP, but PvE, which is kind of interesting because you've got, and I hate to always use them as an example, but they are the big example. And you got World of Warcraft, and they really separated them. So PvP was very vastly different than PvE, and it kind of made a mess out of it. And I don't know if that's maybe why they don't want to do that, is because, maybe they saw something from World of Warcraft. But you're right, something's got to give, it seems, because they're such different games. It's such a different style of play.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop you right there. I just want to. You brought up the big dog, so I'm gonna use the big dog as an example here. I loved BC Vanilla WoW sapping. I loved BC Vanilla WoW sheeping.
Frost trap.
Frost traps. Were frost traps not fun as a hunter?
I'm sorry. Again, it goes back to Corazon. It goes to that stupid dining room fight.
Morose fight. The morose
Yeah,
fight.
the roast fight. And I was a hunter, and so yeah, frost trap for the win. So much fun.
My point is this: like CC crowd control in PvE and WoW was fun as hell. It was so much fun. But if you were chain CC'd in a 3v3, your life sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked bad. Like you would just get chain locked down and die. Forget it if it's a rogue. If you're going against a rogue, and I remember going against, back in WoW, going against a rogue and a mage, I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to sit here and die because I know what's going to happen. They're going to sheep me or sap me or sheep me or sap me, sheep me or sap me, and I'm going to be dead as a priest. So I'm going to get back to Guild Wars here for a second. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's look. I don't want this clean sweep of changes to go, oh, well, fine. Hey, we got these big imbalances. Just remove boons altogether. I don't think they're going to do that. Don't get me wrong. But please don't do that. It's so much fun. Boons are so much fun. Why not just be able to have a slightly different approach to boons by limiting them in PvP and not so much in PvE? Seems like a good solution that Lewis made in his 10-Ton Hammer article. I don't see how that would be a big problem.
Well, there's lots of conversations going on about PvP. And so, I had to actually write my thoughts down a little bit because I was actually kind of thinking about this and this whole story. And I think every show, everything that I've listened to lately has been talking about this serious PvP imbalance and has been talking about like the meta's broke and there's only certain things that you can do. And there's
in what context, Boom?
In
what context are these conversations going on?
These conversations are going on with the biggest and the best players.
Pro League.
Talking about,
just say it.
Right,
You're talking about Pro League.
Right.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're out
and this
there.
is kind of where my point is going. I wanted to let everybody know that I've been playing some casual PvP, like non-competitive, not really worried about it. I've been going in as my warrior. I don't even think I'm spec'd right. I'm just going into these matches, and I got to tell you, I can win 50% of my times. Like it feels pretty balanced to me. I don't crush it every time I go in, but I don't lose every time I go in either, and it's just enough for me to really, really have a lot of fun. And with the reward tracks being what they are, I really think like PvP is just fine for almost every player except for the ones that are going to be on TV.
Well,
Exactly.
but I will say this. When you're doing the team stuff, like a few weeks ago, we were talking about how we got a guild group together and we were going to try to run stuff, and that then they always put you with the full groups. Like, I get it. I totally understand, but we get slaughtered every time that we try to go do that. That's where
it's
with
boons?
the group stuff. Yeah,
Well, but it was
is
kinda-
boons.
It is
kind of-
boons. There is because you die
absolutely
way
boons.
too fast, Tess.
That was kind of a
We
little
die like
different.
that.
I'm full bunker build, and I usually never die ever in PvP, and I'm down like that. So
That was kind of, when we played though, it was a little bit of a different situation because the leagues were just opening up and the matchmaking has now kind of corrected itself. I think you'd find if we got into a group and we did even ranked at the lowest level, I think you'd be surprised that we could as a team win out of that first tier.
well,
I really do.
don't-
I think
I
we could
don't
do it because when we ran, it was the night before league started was when we ran like that as a group, and you had all of the pro players in the casual queue, the non-ranked queue, practicing and getting ready for the next night when it was going to go live, and they were trying to get their strategies and everything to go. So every team that was on there was super good, and yes, these teams that are ranked with these players that have diamond rankings and all this stuff, they're going to roll us, and part of that is just I think some of it's just skill too. I don't think it's necessarily all just the meta. Some of it's just flat out that there's some people out there that know exactly what to do, and it's like the game just slows down for them. Like for me, the game goes so fast. I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? For some of these people, it's just, they got it.
So you don't think then that I'm not saying you're disagreeing entirely with me. But you don't think the metaphor I drew is, or analogy I drew is accurate, and that, World of Warcraft, if you had a couple classes that could
Right.
stun the hell out of you, you were in for a long day. Like if you were in, again, this is where I don't know enough about PvP, but I'm thinking certainly Necros certainly have those wells and those boons they put on people. And you have a couple classes that in a 3v3, 5v5 game that have boons, and then you have some that don't, or don't have boon stripping. That's something we haven't talked about.
Well,
not all classes can boon strip either.
Right. You kind of, though, so I think of it in the sense of a MOBA. So the meta changes constantly. So think about League of Legends. Certain character sets are popular for certain time frames, and they do that by the way the game kind of ebb and flows. So they make certain things powerful, people move to those things, and to be honest, everybody plays the same base 10 characters. And that's kind of the way that competitive stuff goes. And if you think about WoW, they even had a racial thing recently in their PvP where the human racial trait was beneficial because it was stripping off some of the stuns. That's just their racial, and everybody was the same character in PvP, so they weren't even getting any varieties of race. It was all of the same race. So that was something that I thought was also part of our conversation, is that is this just what the meta is now, and then it's gonna just change? I don't really know, because it feels like they're trying to build that sort of a system, and
that's fine. That's fine. I'm just again we keep coming back to the same point. I just want to reiterate it,
right,
and that is there's a bunch of people that play this game, and the population you're talking about is a very small percentage of that total group.
Yeah, which is why, but that was where I was going with my point, is that if you listen to other shows, you might think that PvP is broken. If you listen to me, I'm here to tell you that I have a lot of fun. I win 50% of my matches. I don't seem to have any issues with it. And you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to. And I'm almost 100% sure I'm going to break out of Amber, which is in the leagues, that's the lowest tier. And the way it works, by the way, is they have these different levels. And Amber is one where you can only win and can't lose. So you have to win 15 matches, but you can't lose a pit point in that particular frame. And if you can break out of that first pip, there'll be some reward announced at some point. So you're kind of encouraged to at least play that point. Now, the next tier, what they do is they have 5 different little breakout mini sections, and you can't lose a section, but you can lose pips.
Oh, I see.
So if you get to the second section, so if you win 5 in a row, you would be in the 6th one, and then you can't go back anymore. So if you win 2 out of 3, you're going to move up, if that makes sense. So you're going to keep moving, on up the ladder. And then it goes all the way to the diamond level, and at the diamond level, what happens is if you lose, you just lose a pip, and you can actually get even kicked out of the diamond level. So it gets progressively harder as you kind of go through, which is kind of a neat system, and I think it'll be fine. But for like me, I would be like so ecstatic if I broke out of Amber. I don't need to be legendary level 7. I just need to get out of Amber.
I'm with you. I mean, from my feel, we've said this over and over, it's the best PvP I've ever played in any other MMO.
Yeah.
Where I feel, and I'm bad at PvP, but I feel marginally competitive. And I only say marginally because of my own skill, not because of Guild Wars 2. And so I don't feel that way. But boom, again, I just don't want what's happening to 1% of the 1% being generalized to all of us, where it doesn't feel that way. That's what I'm
the problem,
saying.
really, right? That's the exact point. We don't want them to change the game where I feel right now is actually in a decent place for me, the casual, to fit the needs of, 10 hyper-competitive people that are like, I have to win every match. And I like to play this way, and if it's not the way I like it, then... I need it to be fun for me, the casual, as well. So I hope ArenaNet's listening to that and just knowing that I enjoy the PvP. I really like how it is. I know that they need to do this to promote it, and I know that they want it to be successful to help further the game and benefit the game. So I really do get that. But maybe there's some creative ways they can do that, but not lose the fun that the PvP is for the rest of us. So that's really what I'm kind of
agreed.
Yeah. There was a little bit of PvP cheating going on as well with this MMR
Okay,
system.
how did they do this?
So the way, and I just kind of while you were taking a potty break, Tess, I just
sorry.
broke out the. I had big bold letters just come across my screen. I need to take a potty break, and I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway, so.
Thanks for sharing that, by the way.
I know. I thought it was great. I was gonna stare at the minute you posted that. So the way it works is you've got these different levels. So you've got Amber and you go all the way to Diamond, which is kind of what we just talked about. And each tier has a different set of rules, and the rules are kind of right below the tier. So in Amber, you can only win. You can't lose matches. So if you lose a match, you don't lose a pip. They're called pip points.
Gotcha.
And so you need so many pip points to break out of Amber, but you can't lose a pip point if you lose. So you just keep progressing. So if I won one the other day, so I've got 1 pip point in that thing. I need 14 more to break out of it. But what happens is the next tier, you can lose a pip point. So now you can actually move through, but you could potentially lose one. So what was happening is they have this MMR system also in the game.
What does MMR stand for?
So it's the way that they put you with players that are like you. So
gotcha.
It looks at a bunch of different stuff, and I think it's based on some chess stuff that they used to do. So they were it was how they ranked chess players to be able to get chess players to play like chess players, so it wasn't so crazy disproportionate, because I guess it works that way in the chess world as well. And it's the same type of system that's used in League of Legends, by the way, which everybody raves about and says it's a great system because it really does keep the competitive people at where they should be. So how it worked, though, was if you're winning your games and you're going through this system, you have the really high MMR, so it's going to put you with people with equal skill as yourself. So you're going to be playing really, really good players. So what happens when you play really, really good players? You don't win as much, and so you kind of get knocked down, and so you're going up and down. Well, there's a couple stages where you can win, but you can't lose out of them. So you can win, if you win 5 and then you win your 6th, you can't go back the 5, so you can kind of keep progressing, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know if it was probably as clear as mud. But what ends up happening is that they would win to the one tier, then they would just tank a bunch of games all in a row. So they just lose, and their MMR would drop, but they didn't lose any pips, so they didn't go back down. And then their MMR sucks, so they're playing boom. Oh, no. So once they got all back, then they come on, and then they're just like, oh, here's old boom, and they're like, bam, dead, bam, dead, bam, dead. And then they win, and then they are able to do that like 10 times in a row, and then they can break into the next tier. So they were using that as a way to kind of cheat the system, which Guild Wars 2 highly frowns upon, by the way, because it kind of messes everything up, and that's when you run into people that do things. So
although I love the fact that they call it a pip point. Do you know what a pip is?
No.
Militus, you know what a pip is?
It's a dot on a Pip Boy.
Isn't it cleanly shaven cat?
No, PIP. A pip is a
Okay.
dot on a die.
A dot.
I shaved my cat to about 5 pips.
There you go. 5 pips in length. I'm going to use pips now as a length. I'm just going to be like, well, that's about a 5 pipper.
A pip is a dot on a die.
I don't like to get over 10 pips.
I hate you guys so much right now. You have no idea how much I hate you.
What's my beard? My beard's about 3 pip.
Oh no,
my
beard's
fist is about to be 20 pips up your butt.
Your beard's about 50 pips.
It's about a 50 pipper. All right. There you go. So that's how it all goes.
We're oh god, continuing.
There you go. Well, what I think we probably need to do now is something different besides the pip talk and the length of said pip. So we're gonna move to our shout-outs. Let's go ahead and start with shout-outs. Who would like? We had a special 5-star review from iTunes this week. Who would like to share that with the world?
No, you go, Milla, because I feel a little embarrassed because this awesome person has been in chat all night.
Oh, okay, sure. So we got a
He came and joined us in chat.
Yes, he did. He or she, not sure.
He or she.
He or she. We got a 5-star review from Gray Rock.
We better
Not
Rook. See, we
Ray
can't.
Rook.
Sorry, Rook.
So sorry, Gray Rook. You're now
Not
Gray
Pip.
Rock. You're that
Not
way.
Pip.
Once we
Rook,
misship
Rock.
your name, it's that way forever. So
Hold on,
just know,
hold
so
on.
you know that.
Yeah, at least we're not calling him Gray Toasticle.
Yeah.
Gray Rook left
Yes,
us a
yes.
5-star review.
So nice.
Not your school teacher's gaming podcast. Oh no, wait.
It's a whole bunch of school teachers on a podcast.
Love it.
There you go. There you go.
One thing that has been, or do you guys want to touch
Yeah,
highlights
go.
or
You
just say, hey?
just read it.
Oh, okay.
Just read it
So,
quickly.
Here we go. One thing that has been frustratingly absent from the whole niche of gaming podcast genre is something for us casual folks who may not be all that familiar with the lore and secret but supposedly obvious game elements, and yet still would like to have something to listen to at work that refers to their favorite pastimes. This is just such the podcast, made by people who may not be featured in any GSL Pro PvP League lineup, and then unless you're Boom, because he wins. He wins matches.
I've got one Pip.
just saying. But who does something that may even be more important. They just may seem to really enjoy the game anyways. Plus, they have even some production value in their some. Boom. That's a kudos to you, man.
feel
Yeah,
good. I
Boom,
feel
good
good.
job.
Yeah, you do a good job.
Thank you.
No crackling webcam. Mike's, I don't know, Tessa's webcam, hers is like about 5 pips too long. If she got a shorter
yeah.
pip webcam,
Sometimes
it'd be
she
better.
punches her Pip. Yeah.
I hate you so much.
It's always appreciated by somebody who doesn't produce anything himself, but is confusingly still allowed to comment on such things. Thank you, Gray Rook, so very much. Militus was on the floor laughing. I had to finish that off. I really appreciate that, by the way, because that right there hit on everything that we set out to do with the podcast. Because
Yeah,
that's what
really.
we were trying to do. We were really trying to build a podcast that was for us casuals that are just kind of getting into the game and just enjoy it. Because I like to listen to people have fun with their games, and I just like to hear the stories and the things that are going on and all of that type of stuff. So that was really, really awesome. Awesome. I'm going to butcher this next part, but Sargena, who is a new guild member to the PrecursorCast guild, while I was on, she or he got a precursor. It dropped. And I was like, that's so awesome. I've never seen a precursor drop for anybody. So I was like so excited. She or he put 3 exotics into the forge and with a forge stone, and wham, got the Howl Warhorn, by the way, which they just recently fixed, I guess, and made the animation cool, so everybody wants it. So I think it's going to be awesome. So that's really pretty sweet. And then they also got an ascended weapon from a silver waste drop. Like, talk about a week. Both of those things this week. I was like, an ascended weapon. It took me months to craft my ascended weapon, and just drops. So that was awesome.
Wait, you have an ascended weapon, Boom?
I do. I have an ascended weapon. I play with it a lot. It's 3 pits.
Let's end this thing.
Speaking
we
of
are
pips-
off the rails.
Speaking of pips, toasticles. I just had to say it. That's all. I didn't even have anything to do. I just said toasticles. That's all. I just wanted to add it. I just wanted to add it. Who are the new guild members this week? Tess, tell them who they are.
So we've got Sergina or Serjana or something like that. We apologize. We're bad at names. And we
you
also
can
have
tell.
Slash Lizard. Those are our new guildies. Slash Lizard.
Slash
and
Lizard, I like
Sergina.
that one.
It's awesome.
It's kind of like a metal band. You could just be like, we are Slash Lizard. Come
Slash
see us after the
Lizard!
concert. We got some CDs out back.
Slash Lizard, by the way, is Byron. Just FYI.
Byron
from
is-
Facebook.
Cool.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm going to be saying hi to Slash Lizard. Remember to come and join us. I had one last thing, by the way, I had the Precursor Guild Minute I wanted to do because the guild is growing and a lot of the guild members listen to the show. And so when I have a big announcement, I wanted to just kind of put it on the tail end of the podcast so that they could know kind of what things are going on. So I just wanted to mention that we're changing from TeamSpeak to this other app called Discord. And I think it's going to be better for everybody, especially in Guild Wars when you can have 5 different guilds. And TeamSpeak is really hard because you have to put in the IP address every time for your different guilds. So it's hard for people to just like hop into one and out of the other and into a different one. So we're going to move to Discord and we're going to be doing that. We'll have all the details in game for anybody that would like to do it. We run stuff on Tuesday as a big group. It's good casual fun, but we would like people to start running things on other days as well. So if you're interested in getting those things signed up and set up, do that. We would love to have
and we're always looking for additional leadership in, hey, I really want to run a PvP group, or I really want to set up a Saturday whatever. Just let us know. We're 100% cool with all of that.
And you can reach us real easily.
702-625-1337.
There you go. You can reach us right there. And I didn't even realize, but when I did that, it killed my music. And so now I'm in this place where I don't know what to do. There we go. I got it back. Whew. And by the way, just so you know,
this is a pip or two too long.
This is how we do this. This is how we do this show. We record, and 30 minutes from now it'll be live. It'll be on iTunes 30 minutes afterwards. I don't edit it. I don't do anything. I just roll it out.
Maybe we should edit this.
All pips and all.
Pips, baby.
I just throw it out there. So it's going to be in cyberspace in about 30 minutes after this. So I want to thank everybody for joining us, and I want you all to have a wonderful time with Winter's Day. And on that note, we are out.
Star Wars tomorrow!
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
That's good. We're done recording.
That was so good, Moses.